Right now, though, we want to look ahead. What's next for NACCA and the IFI network? Coming back to the stage to tell us just that, Chief Executive Officer of NACCA, Shannin Metatawabin.
Wachig Masue, I know it's a long, long day, and we're all starting to think about the gala. We're starting to think about a couple of receptions that are taking place. I want to let you know that the Yananchia reception is taking place on just around the corner there. But before we get started, I wanted to recognize this is such a wonderful event. Our forum has grown into, I think we had registered 425. Our team has done an amazing job of putting this together, bringing the right people together to talk and share information. But this started with humble beginnings, and it started with partnership. When I first started with NACCA, we didn't have a forum or a platform in order to share, in order to build partnerships. But we started that partnership with AFOA Canada. And I wanted to recognize Terry Goodtrack for 2 years of partnership where we built up the momentum of this forum. And it was integral because he puts on a forum annually. Everybody, I think, has been to the AFOA forum. They have 1,000 people that attend their events. And so they're very good at it. And I just wanted to recognize Terry and maybe ask him to come up here. I want to give him a gift.
What'd you say? That's okay. Well, it's a bit of a surprise, but I want to certainly thank you, Shannon, and certainly the NACCA family here for for this gift. I just want to say this is at the very beginning. I think probably the biggest contributor to this collaboration is openness, right, and trust. And I think certainly Shannon here and the whole NACCA board and team. I always find that a lot of the initiatives we do together is based on trust and collaboration. Even when we do our Harvard programs, they were invested in. We're going to be doing an Indigenous Youth Entrepreneurship program next year. So all you entrepreneurs here that went up on stage, you got to watch out for our marketing on that. But they're in all the time, and I really appreciate the work that you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Terry. Really good. Thank you very much. I always think it's important that you remember where you come from. And Terry has always been our first partner, always been our biggest supporter. And I've known him for, 30 years. So we've been friends for a very long time. But I was very, very impressed with the youth that presented. It really fills my heart when I see that kind of talent of what's going on. And I see the elements of protecting our thinking about the future. And I have a little bit of a message for you. I want to let you know that you are the inheritors of the longest economic system. Your ancestors managed complex trade networks, sustainable resource systems, and sophisticated governance structures for thousands of years before colonizers touched our lands. 95% of us were eliminated due to disease and policies. That knowledge didn't disappear. It's in you. It's in the way you instinctively understand reciprocity, the way you think 7 generations ahead without even trying, the way you know deep in your bones that wealth means nothing if your community is suffering. In my community, the term we use to convey that deep responsibility is kwachi. The success of your future is determined by the health of your neighbor. So it's really important that we don't leave anybody behind. The colonial education system has spent generations trying to convince you that thinking about community first makes you uncommercial, that caring about the land makes you impractical. Kanaskok, they are lying. Those instincts, they're your competitive advantage. The business world is finally, slowly, starting to realize that what we've always known, that extraction economics is killing the planet, that communities matter more than shareholders. But here's what I want you to understand about leadership. Indigenous leadership in the economic sphere is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most grounded. When you walk into a boardroom, a bank, a negotiation with a potential partner, you're going to be underestimated. They're going to make assumptions. Let them. Because while they're busy underestimating you, you're going to be doing something that they can't. You're going to be listening to what's not being said. You're going to be reading the room with the same skills that your ancestors used to read the land. Your first job as a leader is not to prove yourself to them. It's to stay rooted in who you are and what you're building. I've watched many Indigenous entrepreneurs get pulled off course to try to fit into someone else's definition of success. They take investment money that comes with strings attached that slowly strangles their vision. They scale too fast because some consultant told them that that's what real businesses do. They compromise on their values because they're afraid of being called too political or not business-minded enough. Don't do that. Here's what I want you to do instead. First, build your advisory circle. Identify the elders, mentors, leaders, and family that can guide you, provide guidance, bounce ideas off of them. Second, learn to speak the language of finance, law, and policy while never forgetting the language of your values. You need to be able to walk into a bank and talk return on investment, cash flow projections, market analysis. You need to understand the term sheets, intellectual property law, and regulatory framework, not because those things are more important than your cultural knowledge, but because they're the tools of the system that you're operating in. Third, document everything, and I think this is what we all struggle with, and it means everything. Your journey, your processes, your failures, your victories. Write it down, record it, create a manual that you wish that someone had given to you. Don't let your hard-won business wisdom disappear because you were too busy or too humble to write it down. The future will thank you. This is how we will build the infrastructure of Indigenous economic sovereignty, one documented lesson at a time. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that this will be easy. You're going to face racism, both overt and subtle. You're going to deal with bureaucrats who don't understand treaty rights, investors who want to help but really want control, and competitors who will try to copy your cultural elements without understanding or respecting them. You're going to have moments of doubt. I want you to know you have everything you need right inside of you. The knowledge of your ancestors, the resilience that got you here despite everything designed to prevent it. The vision to see what's possible when we stop playing by the colonial rules and start building according to our values. You are what your community needs. The next 7 generations are waiting. You are exactly what we've been waiting for. Please step up. Miigwech.
And that is a beautiful way to wrap up this portion of the day. I don't think I know Joelle long enough to vamp up here so long that we're keeping the room overdue. And I don't want to stress them out too much. So we're going to wrap it up real quick. I want to say thank you, a big thank you for those closing remarks and looking ahead from Shannin Metatawabin, because that alone underscores the very real importance of this kind of an organization being led by someone with the lived Indigenous experience and who can lead and speak to the youth in that manner. What I would have given for this to be available to me as a young person, but that is why we do this, to make this available to our next generation of youth, and why we ask you, exactly as Shannin said, what you see lacking, make that commitment to fill. So thank you so much to everybody who spoke today and who joined us today to share information, receive information, and to network in general, and to be a part of that support for the next generation of Indigenous entrepreneurs who are going to be carrying us soaring into a future of Indigenous prosperity, continued Indigenous prosperity. Sure fun. We will now ask everyone to start clearing out the room because we do have to prep for a gala. We have networking opportunities. We are going to be heading over. Join us for complimentary beverages and snacks in the Maurice room. That is a meet and greet with Yananchia Housing, as well as tonight's gala. Get ready for tonight's gala where we will be closing the bids on the silent auction, so get your bids in as well. And then we will be seeing some great entertainment from Amanda Fox, Awama Tedensi for powwow dancing. We're going to be entertained by DJ Pop Tart, and then it's going to be some Métis magic from Chantel Monroe, as well as the Indigenous Prosperity Foundation pitch competition winner. We will see you tonight at the gala.